integrations
Yeah.
for shows that
It's
we
a
agree
commercial.
on.
It's a commercial.
We're doing
Yeah.
commercials.
You have a commercial for Netflix.
No.
No, lower third.
No, we did. Lower Third is just one of the branded pieces of content, but we did an integration deal with them where when we agree on an event or a show or a doc or a movie that we both like and feel like reaches an audience that can be impactful through our show, that we do business together.
But what does that mean? You're running a commercial.
It means that they talk to us individually.
No.
They talk to me.
I'll be home. I guess I'll check out fucking His and Her on Netflix.
What's that?
It's supposed to be real good.
Oh yeah, I was looking for something.
New miniseries, 6 episodes.
Say less.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of real good reviews about it.
Dang, listen to this. You guys, I keep circling back to this interview that just dropped on Earn Your Leisure with Ian Schwartzman. And the more I listen, the more I'm catching the specific details he's breaking down. At first, it seems like he's just discussing podcast strategy. But then, hold up, he's really speaking on the current business relationship between him and Joe. And for years, we've all speculated that it was either a clean 50-50 partnership or some kind of joint situation. We've always known Ian had his fingerprints all over the operation, but the deeper he got into it with Rashad, I started thinking, oh nah, now I'm a little uneasy. Because now it finally clicks why Joe stopped preaching independence the way he used to. I'm genuinely curious when Ian officially became a real part of the JBP, like when he stepped into that quote-unquote manager role for Joe. And let's be honest, that title is just the polite version of what he really is. He's an advisor, he's an influence on Joe. He wears a lot of hats, but manager is just the cleanest label to use. He started by telling Joe, listen, you get an insane amount of unique visitors every single week, 1 million. I'll use the same numbers he used just to keep it consistent. You have 1 million people tuning in every week, whether they're listening, watching, or doing both. And since you drop 2 pods a week, those extra episodes originally came because of the Spotify deal. Let's not rewrite history. Now he says you can go direct to consumer, which Joe still preaches to this day. And if you can convert just 2 to 5% of that weekly audience into paying supporters, that changes your life forever. Then he doubled down and said, if you can get 1,000 Patreon subscribers, and shout out to y'all because I'm sitting around 520 something right now. I'm still looking at that number like, wow. He said, if you hit 1,000 paying supporters, your life is different. And honestly, I realized that a long time ago, like a long time ago. For transparency, let me give you real numbers. Just last month, off Patreon alone, not monthly subs, total income, I made about $570. My biggest YouTube check ever was $4,000. The YouTube audience I get and the Patreon audience I get, they don't even compare. But the gap isn't so crazy that it doesn't make you think. Like, wait a minute, maybe independence really is possible if enough people truly support your work. And that's the part people miss.
Because Ian absolutely influenced Joe to go independent in the first place. I say all of that just to land right here. Because then he pivots and starts talking about the Netflix deal they currently have. And if you were paying attention, keen-eyed viewers already caught it. We all saw the promo tied to Jake and the Anthony Joshua fight, clear as day. Like, wow, he's getting a serious bag. But then Ian starts letting slip information we already been side-eyeing for a while. Except now, this was the confirmation, and we actually got a live example of it on today's show. Ian explains that if Netflix has a show, an event, a movie, any form of content really, and if they feel like talking about it, quote unquote, and they also happen to like it, then they'll promote it on the platform. Right after that, he adds something important. He says it's not integrated ad display, meaning you don't see a Netflix logo slapped on it. And that's where things start getting tricky, because Joe brought up His and Hers today, and I'm pretty sure I played that clip at the beginning of this video. He talked about His and Hers being a 6-episode trial run, basically a beta show. Now, don't get me wrong, it sounds solid. I'm probably going to check it out. But that's different from what Ian said, because Ian said when we both like it, we'll speak on it. either positively or neutrally. So here's the question. If money is being exchanged for what's essentially ad placement, because let's be honest, that was paid promotion, and it's not being disclosed, and they may not have even fully seen it, what else are these networks paying for? Notice something else too. When Charlemagne announced his Netflix deal, Joe didn't go after him. No shots, no breakdown, no dogpiling. And considering their history, you would have expected at least something. Then Ian goes on to say, we have multiple ad deals, multiple sponsors, but the only one we actually see is Prize Picks. Now listen, I know I'm saying a lot, but stay with me. This is the real point. Everyone already picked a side on the political takes they had, especially around the situation involving Renee Good in Minnesota. So what conclusions can you draw if money is quietly changing hands? Because that's essentially what this looks like. If you're being paid to frame an opinion on a show, what do you think is happening on the back end? What do you think the hiring of Mark Lamont Hill really represented? Which would also explain why Mark and Ian seemed so closely aligned at first, especially when Mark initially joined the network. And while we're on that topic, where is the Mark and Ian show? I haven't heard a single thing about it coming back, and that's interesting because it was featured heavily in the promo. Anyway, now that we've pretty much established that this thing is bought and paid for, I want to circle back to the independence conversation because I actually dropped a Patreon video yesterday explaining why I didn't like how Ian framed that message.
But I didn't even touch the main point I really wanted to pull from that conclusion. And here it is. I think Ian owns the JBP. I don't think this is a true partnership at all. My antennas went up the moment we started seeing Flip getting calls directly from Ian. And every time Joe would redirect or defer, it was always, you gotta talk to Ian about that. So let me ask this. Why does Ian carry so much weight at a company you supposedly own? And this is why every time I hear the word partnership, I pause. Is it a real partnership? 50-50? Both parties put up money? Both parties get the same dividends when profits come in? Or is it a partnership in name only? Like the Gilly, Wallow, and Barstool situation. Yeah, we're paying you. Yeah, you're the face. Yeah, we'll give you full autonomy, quote unquote. But the moment you do something we don't approve of, it's clipped. And I'm not even specifically attacking Gilly and Wallow here. I made a video about that 2 or 3 years ago, which is why I'm drawing the comparison. So the real question becomes, how much control does Joe actually have? If Ian says they need to hire another co-host, does Joe really have any say in that? If Ian wakes up tomorrow and decides they're no longer direct-to-consumer, does Joe have the autonomy to stop the show from moving to Netflix, or Spotify, or Sirius, wherever Ian decides it should go? We spend so much time talking about Charlemagne, Ebro, and others who are openly signed to corporations. But we need to put that same pressure on this so-called partnership between Joe and Ian. Because if you actually watch that interview closely, you'll realize Ian is the one who put Joe on the path he's currently walking, to the point where Joe speaks down to the audience like we're all brokies. Ian got him there. So I genuinely wonder, what happens if Ian leaves? Is that a clean split? Or does Joe lose more than people realize? That's heavy speculation, I know. But y'all tell me what you think in the comments. Make sure you go watch that interview for yourself. Ian gave up a lot of information that I'm intentionally not breaking down fully, because I'm not a motivational channel. Even though, yeah, I do try to motivate y'all sometimes, but still, go watch that interview. Better yet, watch the last 20 episodes of the Joe Budden podcast and see if you can start spotting all the ad sponsorships they're not disclosing. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the page if you haven't already. If you have, you already know how we're rocking over here. You already know what time it is. I appreciate the movement. Let's keep it moving. I'll see y'all soon. Peace.